I'm flattered. I really was. I have a lot of respect for Mr. Wilson. I have a lot of respect for the Bills organization. Buddy Nix is obviously a friend of mine, having worked together. It's not about the Buffalo Bills, it's about the New York Jets. And how I feel about this organization, you know, the way I see the direction of this team going under Rex, the fact that, you know, Woody and Mike stuck by me last year, all that stuff is stuff that, you know, I took into consideration. And at the end of the day, I felt really good about the decision.
Was it a tough decision knowing that you know Buddy Nix, your father obviously knows him pretty well? Was it tough for you to decide whether or not to even decide to try to go there?
Well, yeah, I think, you know, obviously, you know, if anybody understands how hard it is to get a head coaching job, it's me. I've been close a couple times. I grew up in a family with a head coach. At the time when he was the head coach, there was 28 teams. Now there's 32. But so obviously a lot of thought went into it. But as I told you guys a couple weeks ago, the biggest thing for me is the fact that I'm happy. And, you know, again, I haven't always been happy. And so I love the direction of this team. We've got a lot of time invested with the players, with the coaches, and I think there's a lot of good days ahead.
Does that mean if any team right now, besides Buffalo, you know, offered to bring you in or asked you to come in, you would decline all of them?
Well, I think obviously I would take and listen and you know, consider them all. But at the end of the day, I'm happy, and so I don't see myself going anywhere.
So you didn't even, you know, talk about interviewing with them, or take us through what happened there.
Obviously, Mike and Rex called me in, and they, you know, told me that they had sent in the form, and we had a chance to have some dialogue. I kind of explained to them, you know, what my thoughts were and how I felt. They said, obviously, hey, you know, take some time and think about it. I said, hey, I don't think it's going to take very long, but I appreciate that. So I went and made a few phone calls, talked to my wife, and at the end of the day, I followed my gut. And again, I'm the type of person, you make a decision, you make it the right decision. So I'm never going to look back. I'm always going to look forward, and we'll make it the right decision.
You obviously have head coaching aspirations at some point, is that fair to say?
Sure.
I mean, do you feel like, I mean, part of this, that you're still young and you got a good situation ahead of you, maybe, you know, you could enhance your marketability, so to speak, you know, for more success?
Yeah, I think, you know, obviously, you know, I don't look at it, I'm not trying to market myself. I know that's not what you're referring to or referencing to. You know, I just, you know, again, do I want to be a head coach? Absolutely. I think it has to be the right time. I think it's got to be the right situation. But again, you can't put a price tag on happiness. And, you know, I come to work every day excited. I come into the meetings with the players energized. And, you know, again, that's something that, you know, not every coach around this league has that. And so, you know, I'm flattered that somebody wanted to talk to me. But again, it's more about what the Jets had to offer, and that's just, you know, again, the confidence in me and then all the time that's been spent.
So you feel like you're ready for the next step, just not the right situation?
No, I think so. I mean, I wouldn't have taken interviews in the past. I didn't feel like I had to take this interview. I have the experience. I've done 3 of them, and I've come up short in all 3 of them. So I didn't need the experience, but I'm happy, I'm content, and we got a big game to play this weekend. My father and I are very different. I think we have, you know, some things that are similar. You know, I can't tell you how proud I am of what he accomplished. I think I've said in here before, I hope at some point he gets some consideration for the Hall of Fame. I mean, winning 200 games is unbelievable. I think that, you know, if there's some things I took from him, it was just that you can outwork people, how important preparation is, how important attention to detail is. Those were all things that he spoke of. He and Rex have a lot of similarities in terms of there was always a vision for the week. There was always a confidence. You know, Rex might talk about it more than my dad did, but, you know, they both expected to win, and they both expected to play well. And I think that's, you know, something that is really a positive. You know, some people want to say that it's a negative, but it's a positive. You put the thought in the players' minds that we're going to play well and we're going to perform well, and they believe that. And I think that's something that my father did a very good job of.
You said you're a little different than him. How are you different?
Well, obviously the sides of the ball are different. I could tell you a cute story. He's down in Orlando right now coaching the East-West Shrine game. And he called me on Tuesday, and he wanted me to send him just the synthetic wristband. And I called him back, and I didn't get him. I'm like, okay, look, I know you have a bowl game this weekend, some all-star game, but we're getting ready for the divisional playoffs. You think you can't run out to a sporting goods store and buy this? And so he kind of laughed, and he called me back. He said, oh, I'm sorry, but, you know, the offensive-defensive side is very different. I think that, and I will say he did change. He softened when he got older. He probably will hate that, but as he matured, he got a little bit softer. He backed off the players a little bit. He wasn't such probably a taskmaster. And I think, you know, I like to keep things loose. I like to have, you know, a room that can work, get our job done, but at the same time know it's okay to laugh and have fun.
If this wasn't a team in the division where you'd have to coach against Rex, would your deliberations have been any different?
Probably not. I think that's one thing I did consider because obviously, you know, you're with a division team, you go in there and you give them some information. I think that's something you got to consider. But at the end of the day, it ultimately just came down more to, regardless of the opportunity with whatever team, it was what the Jets have afforded me and offered me here.
Speaking of the Jets, how's Sanchez handled the week?
He's been great. I think you see his confidence growing. You know, he's got a kick about him, kick to his step. You know, I think obviously he performed very well in the game, but yet nothing's changed in terms of his preparation. He's still asking the right questions, which was new for the last couple of weeks, which he's been doing. He texted me late last night, you got the third down list done. I haven't had many of those texts this year, but hey, you got the third down? I said, yeah, it's coming. You know, it's a big game. Give us a little bit more time. But that's good. So he's doing all the right things. And I think that you just see him growing up, you know, week to week. And again, his confidence right now is at a high level.
He didn't ask for any wristbands either, did he?
What's that?
He didn't ask you for
No, he did not. No, he's got his own wristband, so he doesn't need any.
Ron, are you concerned about Braylon at all, just the, you know, some of the problems he's had, the drops?
Yeah. No, I know that, you know, it becomes, you know, big in the media, but no. Somebody asked me the question, you know, would you have done it again, or have you lost confidence in him? I said, absolutely not. If that was the case, we wouldn't have called that shot for him. You know, we felt like we owed Leon Hall. We let him get away with one. And again, Braylon, you know, from the time he's been here, has been a joy to coach. He's bought in. He's playing a different style of football of what he's used to. He's not the only guy that's targeted. We're only throwing the ball, you know, 15 to 20 times. But he's our most relentless blocker in the running game, and he's really bought in. And I think he's happy. So at no time have I ever lost confidence in him. He's going to play well. I heard what Rex's comments were, but I think he'll play well this weekend. And he made a big catch in the third down and the touchdown in the second half. He almost split through and scored.
Well, Brian, how challenging has this season been for you? I mean, because you know, usually been a guy who likes to throw it around a little bit, and you know, now in the Rex he wants to, you know, pound the ball. Has that been a transition for you to call a game the way Rex wants it called, as opposed to the way you've been calling it?
No, you know, I always still do. I believe the best way to be offensively is balanced, but I also realize that we're pretty damn good running the football. And, you know, again, last week there was a whole new set of fronts that I've never seen before in football trying to stop the run. And, again, we're going to play the way that we're going to play. And, you know, again, I have no problem if we have to throw it 50 times if we're going to win, or we have to run it 50 times. It doesn't matter to me. The main thing is that we win. And